teacher go? Where'd the... Hang on, I found one. Is this normal? Did you just call it out cold storage? Oh, yeah.
It's normal now, babe. Children.
Whoa! It's him! It's the boy!
Look at you all. We're here to learn about some shit today.
Oh, good.
About Steven Universe. Oh, fascist gay slave owners.
My favorite.
It is. It's such a good show.
That's great.
It
What
is.
is that?
It is a show.
What's gay?
What you are.
Oh.
So this show is about. Well, we'll talk about the main show, of course, first. So it's about a boy who inherits his mother's superpowers and struggles to learn them and defeats evil at the same time. Pretty wholesome, family fun until you get into the backstory of things, and then it gets a bit funky. So, does anybody here know anything about Steven Universe as of right now?
I got into it through porn.
As most people did. So, from here, we've got to start out at the beginning, because that's where all good stories start. So, first off here, we have the Diamonds and Homeworld. So, the Diamonds are these supernatural beings who were formed, we don't know how long ago, but they're very old. They are very old.
Are they the first? Are they the first gem?
We can presume so.
Okay.
We can presume so. And there is 4 of them. We've got white diamond, blue diamond, yellow diamond, and then pink diamond. And they're all working together in harmony, building their own little empires, except for Pink Diamond, because she's mentally a 5-year-old. But that's fine, we can get back to that later. So, starting out with the diamonds, they set out and try and colonize the world in their image. So, White Diamond will do what White Diamond does. Yellow Diamond will make all the gems. She's the gem maker. She will start all the kindergartens, which is where all the gems are grown at. And in making all these empires, they technically, since they're the oldest, form a fascist empire. Now, yes, give them a round of applause. Yeah. So, who here knows what a fascist is?
It's a fat racer.
Why are you in my class still? So, fascism. It's dictatorial, usually with one person at the head, but since these guys are just built different, there's 4 of them. And they all have their own little quarters and things like that. And think about these gems. So gems start out in their little gem, and they're all physical representations of the beings inside the gem. So a gem is essentially like a brain. It's a brain for these creatures. And if one...
Is it kind of like the emergency medical hologram from Star Trek Voyager? Where it's just a projection of light?
Got no idea what you're talking about, but yes, it's a projection of light. So, if some gem...
Even I don't watch Star Trek, and even I still know that.
Look, I'm not a nerd, okay? So, if one of these beings get their bodies damaged by light, then they will retreat back into their gem, heal, come back anew. They'll come back happy, healthy, all the rest of it. However, if the gem gets damaged, that's like if someone took a toothpick to your little brain, got in there and mushed it around a little bit. What do you think that'd do to you?
It'd make you drink pain. It would also kill you.
Yes, it would kill you. So, that is pretty much death. Death entirely, no way back yet. So, these things, they'll make their empires. And they'll grow big and strong. Eventually, that 5-year-old brain diamond, as we heard before, Pink Diamond, was like, damn, all this fascism and conquering looks really cool. I want to get in on that, this 5-year-old says. And all the other ones are like, you're too young, which is fair. Again, mentality of a 5-year-old. But she pesters and pesters and pesters like a toddler does, and eventually she gets a planet. And the planet she gets is a little one called Earth. Sheesh. You know, yeah, we all know that place.
I think I know that place.
Yeah, cool.
That place,
So,
familiar.
she gets it and she's happy. She is over the moon with it. And then she decides with her little Pearl, her assistant Pearl, and they go down to the planet. A pearl? That's a very good question. So, no. So, you've got hierarchies, like a caste system, pretty much India. So, at the top of it, you got the diamonds. They are your big boys. They're your big upper class ones. And then you've got the actual upper classes. So they're all the ones who take high-end roles, making kindergartens, controlling all the separate departments. And then you got your workers. And the workers will consist of the people doing the small jobs, your paradox running the kindergartens, making sure they're all fine, rubies being bodyguards. And then, does anyone have a guess at what's the bottom rank?
Me guess pearls.
Yes, pearls. They are literally dirt. They are made to look pretty for their diamonds or upper class masters. That's it. Why are you eating in my class?
Because he's fucking hungry.
You fat cunt. So, pearls are the servants to these upper class gems. And that's all they're made for. Take orders, look pretty. So Pink Diamond, she has her own pearl. She has her own pearl. And we'll get back to this pearl. She's very important. But Pink Diamond and her pearl go to Earth and they're like, this is really cool. And then they leave the kindergarten and they're realizing with the kindergarten, which is where all the gems grow and where they're all made, that they're actually seeping every single natural resource out of the Earth's crust and into new gems to build their empire. And Pink Diamond sits there and she's like, this isn't very good. So, her and her pearl, they literally go, how do we fix this problem? I've just realized I've fucked up by pestering my mothers, essentially, for hundreds of thousands of years to get a planet. Now I finally get it, and I hate it. It is horrible. I don't want to destroy anything. I want life. Life is beautiful. Life is lovely. And the pearl goes, well, why don't you go down and fix it? And the diamond looks at her and she's like, I'm literally one of the most popular figures in my entire universe. I can't just go down there. And then Pearl's like, well, how about you shapeshift, because gems can shapeshift. They're magical, and they're gay, and they're space rocks. It's logical. Into a gem called Rose Quartz. And then she tries, Pink Diamond, by herself, to her credit, she does try talking to the diamonds and going, look, how about we conserve the natural wildlife? So the diamonds go, okay, and they build a zoo. Filled with humans and earth animals and earth plants and such like. But Pink Diamond, she's like, I don't want that. I want the world to live freely and to not destroy it. So, Pink Diamond, as this Rose Quartz, goes along and she just tries to dismantle her own planet as another gem. Right? Making sense so far?
Yeah.
Okay, so she ends up starting a rebellion. I've spelled that wrong. I'm dyslexic. Don't worry. So, in this rebellion...
No, it's 1B and 2 L's.
Listen, smart guy. You wanna talk shit in my class? Get out. So she starts a rebellion. The fuck back here, or I'm calling your mother. So she starts rebellion, and she recruits a lot of gems because all the other gems are very disillusioned, and they think they're working with someone who is equally disillusioned with the diamonds, but they're actually just working with the diamond. So they're working against the very thing they're fighting against right now. That's a bit funny in my opinion. But then, Rose Quartz, who is Pink Diamond, realizes that the only way for them to beat Pink Diamond, which is Rose Quartz, is to kill Pink Diamond.
Who is Rose Quartz?
Who is Rose? Exactly, he's catching on. So, do we have any ideas about how we might go about this situation? He had his hand up first.
Why not make a CG AAA live action blockbuster and you make it look like you kill Pink Diamond?
Gems don't have CG. And your answer, Sonny Jim, what was your answer?
Dress up the pearl.
Ding, 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 we have a winner. You're not getting beat in my class today. So, the pearl ends up dressing up as Rose Quartz, while Rose Quartz goes back to being Pink Diamond, and the pearl shatters Pink Diamond, which didn't really get shattered. And then they go on to live life happily ever after as Rose Quartz and her rogue Pearl, because Rose Quartz told Pearl, never tell anybody, not even the people we're working with, that I was once a diamond. And Pearl's like, yep, I'll do it. Because we don't know.
Do the other diamonds not care?
Oh, they care. Here's where the big part comes in. So, all the other diamonds look at Earth. Oh, yeah. So all the other diamonds go to Earth, and they look at Earth like, we can't do anything here. So they literally use all of the 3 diamonds' powers to just blast the Earth with all of their diamond ray magical powers to destroy all the gems on the planet. Does it work?
Genocide.
Does it work? Do you reckon it works?
Best answer to every problem. Genocide.
Do you reckon they all get destroyed? Do you reckon it works?
No.
It didn't work. That's right.
Can't say that.
We're gonna have to censor that.
What the fuck I want?
Yeah, but YouTube won't like that. No.
Look into the camera with your Caucasian skin. Tell that to me.
So, all the diamonds shoot their magical ray powers down, and it doesn't actually kill all the gems. What it does, if we remove the pie chart of oppression here, so it actually turns the normal, happy gems into corrupted gems, which makes them go beast mode, makes them go feral. Sicko mode, yes. Makes them go sicko mode. That's exactly right. You get an extra credit for that. So it makes them go corrupted, and then they're pretty much just feral animals, beast mode, sicko mode, whatever you want to call it. And they just don't remember anything. They're just fucking gone. See you later. And then Rose Quartz feels guilty because her rebellion, because she's pink diamond, it's sort of the same thing. She caused all her friends, all her ex-allies to become monsters. So she lives with that guilt. So anyway, she lives on Earth for a couple thousand years. This is about 6,000 years ago in the Earth scale timeline here. And then she meets a man. Dinosaurs were already dead and gone, buddy. Keep up. Dinosaurs went 6,000 years ago. Yeah, exactly. If you want to be a smartest in my class, you gotta get the cane.
Bring it.
Anyway, 6,000 years go by. It's about the mid-80s. And this Rose Quartz meets a human called Greg Universe. Now, this Greg guy, he's down bad. He's down real bad. Because he sees this big-tittied pink alien bitch. And he's just like, give me some of that. Yes, please. So eventually...
I mean, can you blame him?
Exactly.
I mean, shoot your shot.
I'd fuck the big-tittied alien bitch. So he ends up actually managing this alien and getting the alien pregnant. Who doesn't have a physical body. He's just a projection of light. So
how did gems reproduce?
Kindergartens, my friend. Now, I'll explain kindergartens for you. So... Now, do we all know what the word kindergarten means in its original language of German?
No. I didn't know.
Child's garden.
Oh, okay.
Where they grow children. Obviously. So these gems, they'll go into any planet. And they'll land their little fucking droids down there. And then they'll just suck all the life out the planet, put it into these kindergartens, and then pretty much just fuck the planet up. They're life suckers. They're big on sucking in this empire. So, with this, they grow more children. So, Rose Quartz obviously can't do that with a human, because humans aren't so simple.
It's a equivalent. It's a Full Metal Alchemist / JoJo thing now. No, it's just science. Well,
it's sciencey. Yeah. It's very sciencey. So, what she ends up doing to have this child with a human, she grows a fucking womb out of light and uses her gem as a feeding source. So she's like, I can't leave if I have this child. And Greg's like, I'm a shit dad. Look at me. I'm fat and I've got a mullet. There's no hope. He lives in the van. Exactly. He's done his research, you see. #vanlife. So, eventually, she dies and has a kid called Steven. And
how did Rose die?
She gave birth because since her gem was the feeding source for the child got the gem in her physical form, disappeared. So Steven is now the first and only human gem hybrid. And that's pretty much what leads us up to the main storyline. Here's where things get really, really fun. So,
Who's our main characters?
Right now, Steven and the crystal gems who are left after the rebellion, which is where is she? Which is Pearl, Garnet, yes, from earlier, Garnet, and Amethyst. They're the only 3 gems apart from Rose Quartz who survived the rebellion. So, Steven, he ends up growing up and learning his powers. I'm going to skip over a whole bunch of random plot shit here because the first season's like twice as long as any other season. But in this first season, usually how it is, in this first season, Steven gets a little girlfriend. Right? And that's pretty cute, you know. 2 young teenagers, you know, having a flourishing relationship. Non-sexual, this is a TV show. I know you found it through porn, but calm down. So, this girlfriend, right? Going out with Steven, everything's happy, right? Until you realise, Steven's actually Rose Quartz, which is actually Pink Diamond. Who, if we remember, Greg Universe was also dating Rose Quartz and is still married to them, technically. So, would it not be logical to conclude that since Rose Quartz is now Steven, that Steven is married to his own father and is going out with a teenage girl?
Well, technically, Greg isn't really his father.
Yeah, he is. He put the seed in there. You can't just grow a fucking child from nothing. You got to get the seed in there.
Yeah,
Got to go a little bit of happy fun times.
Gem.
Yeah, but it also has some of his genes in it.
Oh, yeah. He's a human hybrid.
It's a human hybrid, not just a fucking gem. Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ. So, Steven is Rose Quartz. Rose Quartz is married to Greg, who is a 35 to 40-year-old man.
This is possibly the second biggest mindfuck I've actually ever seen.
Good. It gets worse from here.
Oh, good.
So, Greg, Rose, married. Rose is now Steven. Steven has now a girlfriend and he's married to his dad, technically.
How old is Steven and the girlfriend in this show?
Steven's age is about 13 and she's 12 and a half.
Oh.
So that age gap's pretty good. 40 and 12 though. That's a bit, that's a bit call me Carson there. So,
I'll just get a slow bump after that.
but if we're counting all the ages of, she's about 10,000 years old. So really the age gap between 10,000 and 13 kind of overlaps the whole 13, 12 and a half thing. It's fun. But anyway, further on in the season, we meet...
I don't like Steven now. I kind of want his guts ripped out.
Look, he's young. He doesn't know what he's doing. So, further through up the show, in the main show, because we've done the lead-up and we've done the Diamonds and Homewood, we're now up to the main show. In the main show, so I don't get in front of the camera, in the main show, we've got a whole bunch of villains that come out of it, and they're all plotting to kill Steven because, rightly so, Steven's his mother, who's also his other mother. But they're all plotting to kill Steven because Rose Quartz. And you meet a whole bunch of funky characters along the way. But eventually, near the end of the show, all the diamonds rock up to Earth. And they're like, I want to kill Rose Quartz and destroy the Earth. And all the rest of it. All the regular show plot shit. But prior to this, we've had a whole lot of hints and questions. Lots of questions like, how did Rose Quartz die? Sorry, how did Pink Diamond die? You see, I get them confused all the time because they're all the same 3 fucking people. How did Pink Diamond actually get shattered? Because at this time, she had a whole court, guards, her pearl, all of her gems surrounding her when she got attacked. So we're just like, how the fuck did that happen? Earlier on in the show, it was properly theorized that Rose Quartz might be Pink Diamond. Early on when the show first released. And everyone's like, no, surely not. After this court scene where you see Yellow Diamond acting really, really agitated when it was presumed that someone close to her must have killed her. Right? So everyone started thinking that it might have been Yellow Diamond. So we get all these unanswered questions until Steven starts having these weird premonition dreams because he's magical and he just fucking makes powers up as he goes along at this point. And suddenly, we see Pearl. So it ended up that Pearl did end up killing Pink Diamond, who is Rose Quartz. And it was also revealed halfway through the show that Pearl and Rose Quartz were in a relationship before she met Greg.
Oh.
So, if we're talking about Steven now, we now know that Steven's parents are the Diamonds. And then Rose Quartz, before she was with Greg, was going out with Pearl. So technically, Pearl is Steven's ex, he's married to his own father, and he's dating a 13-year-old. 12 and a half. Well, at this point, she might be older than that. So,
good fucking on you, Steven.
he is pulling. For a 16-year-old at this point in time, he is fucking pulling.
He is pulling some serious game right now.
So when the diamonds rock up to Earth, they're like, well, fuck. how are we going to explain this to White Diamond? Because White Diamond stays on Homeworld because she's all depressed and my daughter's gone. So, they're like, how the fuck are we going to get, one, the diamonds that help the corrupted gems come back to normal? And how the fuck are we going to explain to White Diamond that Pink Diamond wasn't dead, she just ran away from home for a couple thousand years? Stephen gets about 3.5 words in before he's whisked away back to his old mother's old room.
Oh.
And they try and sort it out diplomatically, and they try and talk, but eventually all of the crystal gems and all of the old diamonds get zapped by White Diamond's power, which is pretty much mind control. Literal fucking
Where
mind
are
control.
we in the show?
Towards the end of the season now. The first series, sorry.
And there's how many seasons?
6 seasons, a movie, and an epilogue season.
This is all in the first season. Okay.
This is all in the first fucking season, so
This is why they
this is the climax of the show right here. So, let's check the time. It's nearly 4 o'clock. That's cool. And so the diamonds end up getting mind controlled. Stephen's friends end up getting mind controlled, except for Connie. Then she's like, I need my pink diamond back. Because obviously this Stephen ain't going to cut it. So, to this 14, 15-year-old boy, you know what White Diamond does? She grabs this human child, gets her long, sharp fingernails, gets the gem, and rips it out of the child's stomach.
Okay, excuse me. Not a drop of blood, I'd like to add.
Not a drop of blood, that's right. It's very quite clean. So eventually we end up with a dying... Here's the kicker. So this child now, with his main life source removed from his body, is fucking dying on the ground. This 14-year-old boy is dying. And then we have his clone diamond version coming out. And he just goes fucking Super Saiyan.
She's gone!
So they take the gem from him, and it makes a clone of him?
Because the gem now can actually put a light form out. Because Stephen was a physical form. It wasn't a form of light. It was just physical.
Okay.
So now that the gem's ripped out, the gem can now produce a life form. But since it was so used to being Stephen for the last 12 years, it's come out as Stephen. And the body is like, that's the body I need to be in. And Stephen's like, and dying on the fucking ground.
And how's White Diamond taking this?
She's just like,
What the fuck is going on?
that doesn't look like my daughter. And when the Stephen Diamond starts walking over to the body, she's like, stop that, and uses all her power, and Stephen's just like, the Diamond Stephen is just fucking Super Saiyan this shit. And he walks over, and he ends up toppling the Diamond regime, because the two bodies get back together, and they have this massive fight with White... No, I'm joking. She just, like, changes colour in her face, and she's like, I'm not perfect anymore! And then that's how the show ends. And they end up reforming all the... It's a really shit ending. Like, I'll be honest, it's a shit ending, but they didn't... Because they got cut short on the plotting time. They were meant to have another season. But Cartoon Network being cunts, just fucked it over. So, we've gone through... This is at the end of the series. The first series.
Oh.
And then, we've got the movie. So, we're all aware of this whole relationship that Stephen's dating his father and his girlfriend. Everything's fine.
Well, simultaneously being his mother.
While simultaneously being his mother
And
his mother's mother, technically.
and hanging out with his mother's ex.
Oh, yeah. But we get past that. Pearl sucks a dick and then she's fine. Not literally, she just fucking grows up.
I wish it was literally.
Look, I know what videos you've seen, because I've seen them too. So you can find that in your own time. So we go to the movie now. And the movie has a very interesting plot. So, turns out when Pink Diamond was a diamond and she didn't have Earth, the gems made a little friend for her. And she was called Spinnelly. And she was just like the epitome of being your best friend. Like everything you want out of a best friend, she was just there for you. She was emotional support. She was just everything. There to make her smile. So it would make sense that she would be just as much as a companion as Pearl, right? Because, you know, she's made her not depressed for the past couple thousand years. So Pink Diamond eventually gets told that, hey, you get given Earth. You know what she does with Spinnelly? Does she take it with her?
I mean, you would.
You would. You and I would. We'd all take our best friend with me to go conquer a planet.
But we're not gems.
But you know what Pink Diamond does? Spinnelly was living on her own little planet, right? Her own little garden planet where they used to play and have fun. Pink Diamond, because she's a diamond, all the gems follow her direct order. She told Spinnelly to wait there until she got back. Left her there for 6,000 years.
Oh.
Now, imagine your best friend did that to you.
I mean, that's pretty much just your dad saying, I'm gonna go to the gas station and get milk and cigarettes.
And then never coming back.
Exactly.
So how would that make you feel if your friend did that to you?
Well, I would a little peeved. I'd be a little...
Would you be angry? Would you be upset?
That'd be a low blow.
It'd be a low blow, yeah. Would you get a bit upset? Would you cry a little bit? Yeah, you pussy. You would cry. You would cry.
Isn't Spinnell made to be the happiest thing in the
Exactly. So how do you think Spinnell takes it? Does she take it on the stride and then, Steven comes back and...
I don't know, man. She goes batshit insane.
Oh, this guy, he knows. She goes fucking mental. So by this time in the show, Steven's he's he's 17. He's 17. And he's like, cool, I've fixed all the problems in the Empire. Everyone's sort of got equality now. Everything's fine. And the world is safe forever. Until it wasn't. Because she rocks up in a giant gem drill and he's there to pump poison into the earth to kill it and to kill Steven and to kill all his friends because she got abandoned. And Steven's like, I don't even know who you are. And she's like, you can't. Because she just expects them to know. Because Steven's his mother, who is his creator.
I'm pretty sure she even says, what? Didn't Pink Diamond tell you guys about me?
Yeah. She got real depressed because none of the others, except for Pearl, because Pearl's been there for fucking years, knew about Spinnell.
No.
She
you said Pearl was... You said gems are made to specifically follow orders to a T.
Yep.
So would that include, not telling anyone about Spinnell?
Yep. And until Pink Diamond was found to be Steven, she couldn't say anything. So now that she's free to, she almost does, but then Spinnell has this really funky scythe-looking weapon, right? You know what that weapon does? Resets gems back to their original birth state. So all of the character development of Pearl, of Garnet, of Amethyst, reset, and then now they're bog standard issue. So Pearl is just made to follow orders from the first person she sees. And do you know who the first person she sees is? No.
Steven.
No. Greg, the man who stole her ex-partner from her, is now following orders from him.
Oh.
Which makes him feel fucking 100% better. No, it doesn't. And then Garnet, since Garnet is a fusion of two different gems.
No, you never established this. What's a fusion?
Oh, of course. So a fusion is when two gems who are either in love or in battle or what have you form to make one being with two gems.
So in other words, a Dragon Ball Z fusion.
Yes, and they even do a little fusion dance, but it can depend on what gem you are, what dance you do. So that's the fusion. Garnet was a perma-fusion, which is two gems who are in love and they like to be fused all the time. So when the scythe goes through Garnet, splits them up into their own individual gems and they get reset. So Sapphire, who is a higher up class sort of future seeing gem, just sort of sits there and just waddles around. And a Ruby was made to protect upper class gems. So the Ruby and the Sapphire are still together, but they have no idea of their past together. And Amethyst was a soldier gem in the war, so she's just follow orders. So Steven's now got the scythe after all his friends have got done on, and then spin on with it. So he just assumes that's all the good thing, and Steven gets bopped with it and loses all his powers. That's the main plot point. So he doesn't know what Spinnell's like before, and Spinnell was Pink Diamond's best friend, who is now Rose Quartz, who is now Steven. So Spinnell, the guy who pretty much just destroyed his whole, all three of his mothers, is now this guy's best friend. Wouldn't that be a bit of a mindfuck for a 17-year-old?
Yeah.
So eventually, it's found out what Pink Diamond does, and Steven's like, I want to fix this, but, he doesn't have his powers, so
He's a 17-year-old.
He's a 17, exactly. So they have a fight. Spinnell's like, I'm going to kill you. I was meant to be happy. Why aren't I happy? And breaks down. In front of this, in front of this 17-year-old again. Keep in mind, this guy hasn't even hit fucking 18 yet. He hasn't even finished puberty.
His balls haven't even dropped.
Not really, no.
Well, also your prefrontal cortex doesn't finish until you're 25.
Exactly. So this is all fucking this kid up a fair bit. So anyway, the Diamonds are like, you're a minus of Pink Diamond. And then Spinnell's like, you're a minus of Pink Diamond. So they all get together and Spinnell ends up filling the place of Pink Diamond, after all this time. So the power vacuum's fixed and everything's hunky-dory now.
When did they do that in the first fucking...
Because they didn't even realise Spinnell was still trapped on the island because Pink Diamond told nobody.
Wait.
except for Pearl.
Mm.
And since Pearl was ordered not to say anything,
Fuck Pink Diamond, man.
exactly, and that's the general consensus of all the people who've watched this show, is fuck Pink Diamond.
This is why humans are better than gems.
Exactly. So,
We didn't realize when to say, fuck you.
that's the plot of the movie. They all end up getting back together because, you know, they unlock the memories of their past and all that.
So wait, how many types of gems are there? Like,
There's,
gem
okay,
characters
so,
for every named...
yes, in the show, most named gems have a type and a function. So, amethysts are soldiers, pearls are servants, diamonds are the leaders, agates run sort of their own sort of upper class warriors, jaspers are warriors on the same wavelength as amethyst, and all the rest of them. There's a couple gems that haven't been shown in the show. That's just because they got cut off for time and all the rest of it. But yes,
So
there's
what was the function? So what was the ruby protected the
Sapphire.
sapphires, but what do the sapphires do?
Predict the future. Oh, they predict the most possible future based off their current scenario.
So you want to explain how that works?
Yes. So, Sapphire. Sapphire has various streams of consciousness and future vision that she can look down. She explains it like this. It's like a river with different streams which pulls into lakes or careens down waterfalls, but it ends up at a future every time. So Sapphire, when she was working with the diamonds, was seeing down one line of future. But then when Ruby came along, she was like, haha, fuck this, I'm going down my own little fucking whirlwind river, right? So anyway, that's what Sapphires do, and Rubies are just there to protect them. So,
Okay, so what's the you explained it to me one time as like they're possible futures, but they try to go for like
the most likely future.
okay,
Yeah, so possible futures, but they go for the one that's most likely fit for the timeline.
and that's not what happened, which resulted in Garnet.
Which resulted in Garnet. And now she can now see all the other possibilities, whereas she could only see the most likely possibility before. So that's why she's a very special Sapphire. But anyway, that's fusion and that's the whole hierarchy of gems. So, I think it's time we now move on to Stephen, the main point of the show. Stephen, throughout most of the show, was like a very young teenager, only becoming 18 in the epilogue. So, he was at first 13 to 15, and then after the first series, he became 16 or 17 in the movie, and then 18 in the epilogue. Pretty young character, all things considered. Sort of like Finn from Adventure Time, but Finn's was grown in this sort of weird world, and Stephen's just human, right?
Well,
So,
Finn was like thought to be the last.
yeah. So, in the epilogue series, it's all about Stephen going through literal fucking trauma. Because the shit he was doing when he was 13 included fighting monsters.
Mm-hmm. That might be something we had to consider.
Yep, so that's fighting monsters, like, you know, that was a very big thing in his job.
What's the size range of these monsters? Are we talking like
Size range can go from about that big to a fucking giant centipede sort of looking character. Like, bigger than this fucking room.
I'm just gonna pull up the size thing from Dunces and Dragons.
Yeah. So, you got fighting monsters, which was fine because they're not human. And then you got fighting gems, which is a bit more sentient than a monster.
Just a bit.
And then that's when he realizes that
Because
gems
aren't human.
No, they're just sentient. That's when he realizes that gems and monsters are the same fucking thing.
Wait, what?
Because the monsters were just corrupted gems, you see, as we explained earlier.
Even that mold thing in the first season?
Yep. Every monster that had a gem on it was previously a living, breathing, sentient gem. Which the diamonds...
do gems breathe? Because they're just
No, they don't need to.
No.
They can for fun, but they don't need to. So, he ends up figuring out that shit. That fucks him up a bit more. And then, he watches his own mother get unfusioned for the first time when a gem called Jasper came around, who is a war veteran that sees this, at the time, 13-year-old boy as rose quartz. And she headbutts him, puts him in a jail floating above Earth in its orbit. He has to then break out the other gems from the jail and then watch his friend come crashing down to Earth.
When you say his mother, like...
Rose quartz.
So it's Rose Quartz, he sees Rose Quartz unfused?
No, she sees Garnet, one of the mother figures in his life, unfused.
Okay, that's...
Yeah, not rose quartz. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So, fighting monsters and gems. Getting trapped in a jail. And...
Gay baby jail.
Yes, that's right. Trapped in jail. Fighting more monsters and gems and gems and monsters and monsters and everything like that. That's just when he was 15. And then he has to go and invade an alien planet, take down the matriarchy that's running it, and then have his own gem and life force ripped out of his body, suffer multiple injuries whilst fighting these gems and monsters. And that's all in 2 years. 2 to 3 years.
You would definitely like Last Stand of the Wreckers. It's like the same level of trauma.
Oh yeah, and that's just this. That's just the main series. And then we got the movie, and yes, this is a 13 who is now 16. So then he watches a gem make his own family forget him, and then try and kill the Earth for another time because there was multiple attempts to kill the Earth prior. So kill the Earth and watch all his family pretty much forget about him. While singing lots of fun little songs. And sustaining, again, lots and lots of fucking injuries. Yeah. So then he gets 18. And it's found out by visiting his girlfriend's mother, who is a doctor, that Stephen has multiple body fractures all over from his head to his toe, which have all healed himself because of his own healing powers. Wait, this is a children's cartoon. There are lasting injuries? There's lasting injuries on the inside. On the inside. So, since he has his own healing powers, right? Since he has his own healing powers, he was able to heal himself, like, in his own body, right? But you can still see all the fracture marks on his skull, jaw, arms, body, you name it, Captain. And then, the doctor asks the very interesting question of, did anything traumatic happen in your childhood? And while he's describing it all, we're seeing scenes and scenes of monsters and injuries and traumatic experiences all accumulating in his brain. When it's then figured out that because of what's happened, because of his mother and what his mother had to put him through after he was born, Stephen, at 13, had developed PTSD.
Shell shock, baby!
Shell shock. Shut the fuck up! So, with this PTSD, he started having fucking manic episodes. This kid at 18, he was fucking off the rails. He tried fixing everything as he did when he was a kid, and it all fucking ended up with him corrupting himself because of the trauma he put himself through. So he ended up, this human, corrupting into a light gem body form.
Oh, how does... Okay.
And
how long is he like that?
All of about an hour.
Oh.
Until the gems defeat it with the power of love, which is a shit ending to that series anyway, I don't like it. But he ends up...
Well, would you rather than beat the shit out of him?
Yes! That would have been much more entertaining. I love beating up children. So, PTSD has a manic episodes and turns into a monster.
What would be the general body shape of the monster?
Godzilla.
Yeah.
Godzilla.
Which Godzilla? Are we talking
like 2017 movie Godzilla.
Oh, Legendary Pictures.
Yes, that Godzilla. Like that fucking big. Put a picture up on screen. Put a picture up right there. Right in my hand. Right now. Do it.
If it's in frame.
Put it right there.
I'll have it follow your hand.
Right there. Yeah, you like that, don't you? Get it out of here. You don't want it. So, he ends up, after having these manic episodes, he ends up going back and coming out of it, and he goes, I'm going to move across the country to get away from this place. And he ends up getting a therapist, and it's all happy. I still think he's fucked up. Like, he is just, like, not right anymore. Because imagine if you had to live through all of those near-death traumatic experiences. You'd be a bit fucked up, wouldn't you?
Jigsaw, like John Kramer, Jigsaw only had one near-death experience, and he became a fucking serial killer.
Yeah. So imagine your whole life from age 12, 13 to 18 was just filled with death, destruction. Oh, I forgot to mention as well, he literally fucking kills a gem when he's 18 because of his fucking manic episode.
Oh.
He's
a murderer.
He's a murderer. He kills the aforementioned Jasper.
Well, to be fair, she did ask for it.
Yeah, she did say, come at me, bro. But he fucking killed her, and then he snapped out of his manic episode because, he fucking killed somebody. And used his healing powers along with all the other diamonds' powers in little bottle forms to fucking heal the gem. And he healed it, but he was fucked up. He was a little bit fucked up. He had a bit of a fucking fit. He did. And, the gems called an intervention, and he lost the plot, turned into Godzilla, and then drove away from Beach City, never to see his family again. He's fucking left. Which I think is a fair call to make.
Didn't Garnet say something like, it doesn't matter what future we're in, we will be together?
Yes, which is very heartfelt. But I still feel like he's going to have like a manic episode at 21 and just like fucking Kurt Cobain himself. Like, I really do. Like, because imagine you have your whole guilt. Like, because not only is he living with his own life trauma, he has to deal with what his mother did. And then what Which is him! And what Pink Diamond did as well. So he has 3 fucking lives of trauma in an 18-year-old body.
He's has 2 war criminals. And he's a murderer with PTSD.
He's a murderer with PTSD. He was a war criminal and was also a fascist gay slave owner.
So this isn't a good ending.
This is a kid's cartoon, everybody. This is a child. The children watch this. We let children watch this. I've watched it. I'm fine. I'm fine.
I watched Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and Billy pretty much died every episode.
Yeah, but he comes back next episode. This kid has to live with the fucking trauma.
Oh, yeah.
Billy's too fucking retarded to deal with the trauma at this point. Let's be honest with you. He's a fucking lobotomite.
There isn't continuity in Billy and Mandy.
There is.
There isn't.
Yeah, this has continuity. This kid was dealing with shit that he wasn't even alive for. That's like your mother being like an Iraqi war criminal, moving to Australia, and then having the fucking mafia come after you because you're an Iraqi war criminal. But you're not. You're just a little Australian boy. You're very happy living your life. But then imagine the fucking Iraqi mafia knock down your door and threaten to kill you with a knife to your throat. Just like, your mother committed war crimes. And you're like, I wasn't there for it.
I'd be saying, oh, what is the sins of the father?
You'd have pissed yourself.
Yeah.
You'd have had a fucking panic attack, you little bitch. Fucking shake yourself in the middle of the floor. They wouldn't even know what to fucking do with you.
Well, you do the same thing.
They wouldn't. Oh, fucking, I'd bait them up.
Fuck you. Fuck off.
I'm a fucking robot. I got wheeled in on a fucking wheeler. I can take the Iraqi mafia. Anyway.
What's your battery life?
About 20 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're about over. But to recap, Stephen, at 13 to 18, developed 3 lifetimes of trauma in a span of 5-6 years? And that's not even counting the fact that he doesn't even have the mental capacity to process that he is a fascist gay slave owner who had an army of underlings that he could have, if he really wanted to, taken control of back on Homeworld and just fucked shit up. Because imagine if he went the wrong way and didn't turn good after that fucking episode. He could have waltzed back in to fucking Homeworld. Because we've seen him go Super Saiyan before. If we're thinking about it back at the end of the series. He's gone Super Saiyan before and he's killed a fucking gem.
Could he go Super Saiyan Ascended or Super Saiyan 2?
Oh, he could.
Because... Did he go up to Super Saiyan God?
He already is Super Saiyan God. He just doesn't know it yet. Because in this epilogue series, he almost kills White Diamond.
Oh, yeah.
Because what he does is White Diamond's powers got swapped so she can...
explain, that whole... Just explain the whole epilogue series. This is now just the entire final season.
Because what happens is, first episode, he's like, yeah, I've built a whole new place for the gems to learn how to be normal and be enter this new world.
Another kindergarten?
Yeah, he's built a kindergarten, but an actual educational one, not one that seeps shit out the ground.
Okay.
So
how are they making more diamonds?
No, they're getting the corrupted gems, which only know, and they only know the world in the war. So they're just like, what the fuck? Who am I fighting today? But he ends up going, look, it's okay. Come here.
There's a fucking diamond over there. There's a...
It's okay. And he calms him down, he sits him down, gives him a good drink of earth soda, and he goes, you're gonna learn today, kid. You're gonna fucking learn. And he takes him to his kindergarten, but there's one gem that doesn't want to go, which is Jasper. And he goes out to see Jasper, and he's like, yo, want to come live on Earth? And she's like, fuck off. I don't like this shit growing in the ground. What is it? It's grass. She's tearing out the grass because she doesn't like Earth life. So he ends up having a mental breakdown in that episode.
Also, is Jasper's corrupted?
Was corrupted, and he's now come back to not being corrupted when the diamonds were like, yay, peace, love on planet Earth. So Jasper comes back to life, and she's just like, nah, fuck Earth, I'm just living in the hills and the mountains. So he ends up having a mental breakdown when she's like, you're nothing but a fucking cunt and whatever. So he ends up beating her the fuck up, and he's like,
we know he's not Australian because
he didn't say.
Like once.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't have said cunt. But he beats her up, and he's like, "Can I learn fighting from you? Can you teach me?" And she's like, "Lesson 1 over, goodbye," and then leaves him. Then the next episode, he learns that gems are being taught to give new jobs, but he's not happy with the way Amethyst is teaching them because she's giving them jobs that they would have been good at on Homeworld. Like the ice creatures are making snow cones, and the technical ones are technicking, and the ones with big slicey knives are making pizzas. And he tries to change it, he fucks up, and then has another breakdown because he's fucked up and he can't help, so he quits the kindergarten. And then he goes back to Jasper when he realizes he's fucked up too bad, and the gems, he can't talk to the gems.
Wait, he goes back to Jasper?
Because he thinks the gems hate him because he's fucked up so much, and they're only there to help. Classic depression episode.
Oh.
So he goes back to the one person he shouldn't be around, and she makes him this fucking tank fighter, and then she's like, "Fight me," and he's like, "Alright." So he ends up actually pinning her to a tree with his fucking shield magic powers, and then getting a big wall of spikes, and then just going, "You're right, this power is cool," and just fucking kills her. Just fucking kills them.
It like hard cuts before it hits.
It hard cuts before it hits, but you can fucking see they're dead. And he actually pulls the shards out of his jacket pocket and pours them into the bathtub, fills it with all the diamond stuff, and just and then remakes the gem anew. So he's fucking lost it at this point. Like, he's like trying to mask a fucking manic episode, which he can't really mask too well, because when he's having a manic episode, he has like this glowing pink aura around him. So like, no matter how much he wants to hide it, he can't fucking hide it.
It's like Gohan trying to be like, I'm fine, but the entire ground around him is dead.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what, and he ends up just fucking losing it because of that. He just,
Who is more traumatized, Steven or Gohan?
I don't know who Gohan is.
Goku's kid.
Oh, probably Steven. Does Gohan have 3 lifetimes worth of trauma to deal with on top of what happened?
No, I wouldn't say that, but I don't know.
But after he visits Jasper and kills Jasper, he tries going to the diamonds to help. And
fascist gay slave owners.
sit the fuck back down. Who the fuck told you to leave your seat? It's fucking right. In other words, the fascist gay slave owners. Right? So he goes to them. First one he meets is Blue Diamond, because Spinnelly tours him around the new homeworld, and she goes, "Oh, if you're feeling depressed, Blue Diamond's now got..."
Wait. So you said Steven reset Spinnelly to 0.
But then, like all the other gems, she got reset back to her like post-traumatic, angry. But she went to homeworld, got a bit happier, everything like that. So she tours him around. There's obviously some sort of fucking weird love triangle going on, because she's like in love with him. But anyway, that's a whole other story for the Stephen L. shippers to deal with. So they end up going back to homeworld, and he's like, "I'm depressed," and she's like, "Go to Blue Diamond," because Blue Diamond now, her powers have reversed. So she used to make people cry when she cried, but now she makes happy stoner clouds, which literally make you happy forcefully.
Oh.
And he's like, "I don't want this." And then Blue Diamond goes, "Oh, if it's a problem with your gem, go see Yellow Diamond. She's devoted her life to now fixing gems instead of destroying them." And it's like, cool.
What little did he know, she meant literal.
Oh yeah. So she looks at his gem and goes, "There's nothing wrong with your gem. Go to White Diamond then. She'll know what to do. She'll put herself in your shoes, because now she doesn't mind control other people. She lets others mind control her to just sort of give them humbleness, to humble other gems and to humble herself." So Steven, whilst in White Diamond's mind, has a manic episode, and then pretty much ends up with White Diamond, or Steven in White Diamond's body, grabbing onto a pillar. And keep in mind, White Diamond's gem is here. And he ends up fucking bang. But we're lucky the pillar he picked actually had been destroyed at that point in time. But if that pillar hadn't been destroyed...
Wait. So you said it was destroyed, but...
Like, prior to him trying to smash a head into it.
So, wait, what do you mean by that?
Like, so while he was in White Diamond's body, he was just like, whoa, swing arm around, knock a few things down.
Okay.
And he ended up going up to a pillar and just trying to fucking murder White Diamond, like going bang, like her head into the dead. dead diamond. But if he had picked a pillar that was like that, he would have been able to walk in to fucking Homeworld and just conquer it. So imagine if he had gone bad with his trauma. And imagine if he had decided to go really, really evil. He could have killed all of those diamonds. Like fucking that. Because if he had kept White Diamond alive to use her mind-controlling powers, him and his evilness in White Diamond's body...
In this hypothetical evilness.
In his hypothetical evilness, in White Diamond's body, he could have toppled the entire regime. And there would be no one to stop him, because he is now the most powerful being in the world, with his Super Saiyan God powers in White Diamond's giant body. And Steven, as a result, he doesn't do that, obviously, because that's not how the show ends, because that would have been a really fucking cool ending. He just has PTSD, has a bit of a cry, and then leaves. Fucking leaves. And that's why, fucking show, it's just like, they could have done so much better with it, but they didn't. They had a whole backstory of evil and destruction, death, and everything, and they fucked it up. Now, my battery's running out. Could you wheel me off again? Yeah, my battery's a bit dying. I'm feeling a bit slow.
Do you have anything you want to plug first? Aside from you?
Yes, I have a next lesson for you guys. Because I'm a nerd. And I wrote an OC for this shit. So I'm going to make sure you hear about it. Follow our channel. Do it. Okay. Let's get you charged up. Oh, what do we have? This is good. Cocaine is my battery charger.